Step into the ladies' room with Josiah Kenty, your kingdom concierge.
Step into the ladies' room with Clarissa. Step into the ladies' room with Clarissa. Step into the ladies' room with Clarissa. Step into the ladies' room. Step into the ladies' room with Clarissa. Step into the ladies' room with Clarissa. Step into the ladies' room with Clarissa. Step into the ladies' room. Topics that interest you. Fun and minutes for two. She's on the cutting edge. Come and join the Kingdom Concierge. Step into the ladies' room.
Step into the ladies' room with Josiah Kenty, your kingdom concierge.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Ladies Room Talk Show. I am so excited about being here tonight. I'm just sharing this live with a couple of friends and also to a couple of pages. And I certainly want you to do the very same thing. We are excited about it. It was a very hot and toasty day today. I don't know about you, but it was just a little warm tonight. It was maybe in the highs in the 80s, but it felt pretty good. I was good with it. I love warm weather. I hate to be cold. So it's really nice. I'm looking forward to the pollen to be blown away. I'm really looking forward to that. And I think it's going to be great once we get rid of all the pollen. Okay. So I'm glad that you all are hanging out with me today. I want to give a big shout out to my amazing and beautiful daughter, Taylor Kenty, who was one of the lead roles in Raising in the Sun with Ramsey High School. Did an amazing job. I think they had about 5 to 6 shows that they had to do. That's a lot on a young person that's in high school, but that whole cast did it and they did it very well. So big kudos to them. Just an amazing job. And I love what Jackie Lockhart is doing at Ramsey High School. Just an amazing job, and kudos to them. Want to thank all of you who were able to come and support these young people. They enjoyed it. They love seeing people out in the audience to come and support them. So thank you guys, and those who were unable to come, we understand, we get it. And so, but Taylor is just grateful for the prayers and the thoughts that you guys rendered to her during this time. So I'm excited about that. I also want to give a big shout out to Natifa Dance Company, Natifa Dance Company with Lavandia Bryant Smith. They were on the show on last week, and they're doing some really great things too, guys. I didn't know that Natifa Dance Company had been around for 30 years. That's a lot to say for any company. And so I'm so excited about her being around and really being able to help and support and teach all types of genres as it relates to music and dance and where these dances come from and the culture of it. I just really think she does a great job, and kudos to her. She's going to be having a celebration here within a couple of months. We'll keep you posted on that because we want to come out to the Birmingham Library and support what she is doing. So big ups to you for coming inside the ladies' room on last Monday. Now, our guest today, I am very excited and really honored that he was able to take out the time to hang out with me on today. I think he's a really cool dude, and not just because he's my firstborn, but I really think he's a pretty good dude. He's so smart, so handsome because he looks like moi. But I think he's a very smart guy and really doing some great things. I want you to learn a little bit more about him, and then I want you to find out the new things that are taking place with Josiah. So without further ado, I want to bring inside the ladies' room, not his first time, he's not a stranger, but go ahead and share this post, guys, because he's going to have some great things to talk to us about tonight. And I'm going to share some of his motivational clips as well, so you don't want to miss it. Josiah, welcome back to the ladies' room. Oh, I can't hear you, Josiah. Do you have us on mute?
Dang, my bad. yeah, man. But I'm glad to be here, man. Thank you for having me.
Hey, we're glad to have you. I know you're a very, very busy guy. We know that you're doing a lot out there at Paducah Middle School. Shout out to them. We love that middle school. We love what they're doing in Paducah, Kentucky, and love what you're doing with the school and with the students. Understand you're probably in track season right now, so I know you're coaching and doing some things too. So I want to thank you so much for spending the time with us today.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about what you're doing as a motivational speaker. You do a whole lot, and a lot of us are following you out there on social media, on YouTube, and also on Facebook and Instagram. You have some really great words that you share. Tell us a little bit about your background and a little bit about you.
Yeah, man, I'm born and raised from Birmingham, Alabama, 205. Shout out to Birmingham. Went to Ramsey High School. It's a magnet school, but also public at the same time. I was a student athlete. So ended up getting a scholarship at Murray State University. First week of fall camp, ended up tearing my ACL, LCL, MCL, and partial meniscus tear. That's about 4 ligaments inside of my leg. And I had to come to the realization on who I wanted to be outside of football. Every athlete, when you grow up, they give you the percentages on you making it to the NFL or how many D1 players there are out there, always having a backup plan, but I really didn't believe in the background plan system. It was always, while I'm a football player, let me maximize being a student at the same time, and everything would work out, which it did. And I ended up being on the scholarship for the duration of my years of college football without playing after my redshirt sophomore year. So I ended up maximizing my abilities off the field by chartering a organization by the name of Ransom Radical Athlete and Student Oasis Ministry. It's really geared towards empowering students, college students, to develop self-identity, financial freedom, how to manage finances, how to manage organizations, how to manage their emotions. It's like an all-encompassing way to build a productive citizen, but with Jesus being at the forefront of it. And then that brings me to here, where I am a motivational speaker, a coach, an educator. Yeah, man. So whatever questions, I'm ready to dive on into it. I'm ready to dive on into it.
I know you're always ready, EJ. Always ready for whatever. You've always been that way from a baby. You are always game. So, and I'm excited about what you're doing. Did you mention your fraternity?
Oh yeah, Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. Now a proud member of the Sigma Xi Lambda chapter across Fall 18 and Zeta Omicron at Murray State. Deuce Club, shout out to the Deuce Clubs out there, no matter what organization you're a part of. So yeah. We can go a long time about that right now.
I know, but I just want to give you just a little bit of time.
Okay.
Because I know you probably have some brothers out there listening, so I didn't want to go without giving them some shout outs there. And we had Jolanda Green. Remember Jolanda Green?
Oh yeah.
Inside the ladies' room here tonight. But we want to talk a little bit about how you got started in this. This is something that you're really good at this, and you do an amazing job at motivating people. And you've been doing this ever since college, really, the beginning of college. And when you started with Ransom, you just by default were over the Ransom chapter at Ramsey, and not at Ramsey, but at Murray State. And just by default, you were one of the lead ministers. You were one of the lead speakers on that. And from that, the word that you would give just kind of catapulted from that. So, tell me, how did it morph into being a motivational speaker?
Yeah, and really it started earlier than that. In high school, I really found a place on what leadership looked like. If you go to my website, it'll look on the legacy of Josiah. And it goes into detail on how I became the leader that I am today. And it started at Ramsey High School during a training session with Coach Otis Leverett. He had the chance to go into the NFL, played at UAB. He put me on the treadmill for about 30 minutes. And I've always been, 30 seconds, my bad, 30 seconds. Somebody will call the police. But 30 seconds, but the highest incline that it can go, the highest, speed that it can go as well. And it was at a point in the workout where, I was ready to give up. but being inside of a leadership role, he really pushed me on surpassing the type of like limits I put on myself subconsciously. Because, you know, when you're going through something, your mind tells you that you can't until you have a renewal of your mind saying that you can by doing. Like, that's the only way you'll really change your mind, is about just stepping all in it, having somebody there to push you and just go. And that's what happened during that moment. Now, as far as the speaking goes, I've always been the person growing up where I spoke when I needed to, but I'll show you better than I could tell you.
Right.
You know, I wasn't that person where always giving motivational speeches before games and stuff like that. That wasn't me. Like, I was always like, let's go, dog. You know what I'm saying? You good? Let's go. Let's ride. Let's ride. You know, I'm that type of person.
Right.
But when I got to college, a lady by the name of Becky Lau, she was my introduction public speaking teacher. She changed my life, man. And I tell her that every chance I get, because, you know, every time I get in front of somebody, I'll start stuttering out of nowhere. And I'm like, bro, where is this coming from? You know, I'll start sweating, my palms start sweating. You know, I spoke with a very, very, you know, fruitful accent from Birmingham. I call it contretto, which is like ghetto and country at the same time. But I still have.
You made that up. That's a term you made up.
No, more people actually use it than what you think. But you know, I was so constantly, you know, just falling back from a lot of speaking opportunities. But with Ransom, it gave me an opportunity to speak every single Monday. Every single Monday, I'm forcing myself to speak. Because I'm like, man, who else is going to give this? Like, I have a lot on the inside of me, but I have to get it out. So I had to come to the realization of being uncomfortable, but getting comfortable with the information that I had inside of me. And then it's just second nature, just giving it every single day, every single Monday, practicing. Even in classes, like, if you can't present the information, nobody's going to know that you know the information.
Right.
Like, even with casual conversation, if you never open up your mouth and let somebody know that you have a smart brain, nobody's really gonna know. Like, and that's what I had to come to the realization about, and also admitting that I did have frustrations with speaking. So I had to seek out help. Jeremy Towns, the president of Ransom, well, actually, I would say the CEO of Ransom, he really pushed me into becoming more efficient with projecting. One thing that I had to get off of is sitting down when I spoke, because that was a coping mechanism with me. I was saying, you know, I really want to make people feel welcome and everything like that. But what that did was, that was an excuse not to demand the room when I walk in it, not to demand the room whenever I spoke. You know, you never see a president sitting down giving a address. When you're addressing something or somebody, you don't want to sit down doing it. So that's pretty much how I came to the motivational speaking side.
Okay. I like that. I like the background, because some people will look and see what you do and think it's so easy, and they want to do what you do, but they don't know what it took to get you to where you are. You know, and it's always good to have a background on that. Hey, Lady Gwen. Lady Gwen is co-pastor at Empowerment Word Church, that's my church in Alabaster, Alabama. So, hey, Lady Gwen. She's saying hello to you, EJ.
Hey, what's going on?
You know, at this time, guys, I want to share a little bit. One of the videos that Josiah has done, you know, a lot of us are following him, and we're able to get a lot of his good words that he shares with us. I want to share one of the things that he has put out. We have two tonight. So at 7:15, certainly I want to go ahead and share one of his motivational clips that he's done. And it's really, really good. Very, very inspiring. So I certainly want to share that at this time. You guys enjoy.
Life has a way of humbling those that have a hard time getting no's. Some people have been so spoiled in life that they don't know what to do when opposition comes their way. If it had not been for the denial, you wouldn't have the opportunity for a retrial. See, the Fifth Amendment protects you from having a double jeopardy within the trial, meaning that you cannot be tried twice for the same crime. See, life really doesn't understand how to operate in the confines of our man-made justice system. Life is going to try you every single time you don't get it. Some of us have been waking up every single morning depressed for the last 10 years. See, we've been dealing with the same missed opportunities, the same I can't do this and I can't do that. When are we going to make up in our mind that today's the day that I can? Because until we change our perspective and renew our mind, life is still going to feel like it has a hold on us, and we're going to keep on offending life. We're talking about the justice system. We are offending life. See, a missed opportunity for someone who has their mind made up about life, who has vision, who has a drive to get things done, is just a gained opportunity for them to get better, for them to analyze how they can do things the right way. And if they already did it the right way, what's a better way to get it done? If we can come to the realization that life is all about angles and how you look at things, we'll look at life from a different angle than what it was presented to us. Meaning that if a door was shut inside of our face, we'll look at the house from a different angle. We'll see a window. If those windows are closed, we'll look at life from a different angle and we'll see there's a garden that's dying. See, everywhere that you go, you should be able to add value. Can you look at that garden and say, even though I'm not allowed in this house right now, this is still my house. I can still tend this garden right now. Because when you finally gain access into that house, you won't look like what you've been through, and the product will look like what you prayed for. We have to set up camp outside of the blessing that was entrusted in us. We have to look at our blessing on the front end instead of losing hope on the back end. Tending your garden before you step foot inside of that house gives you a whole new meaning of what ownership looks like. So many people end up leaving opportunities because they were told no for the first time and it didn't feel good. Don't be that person. Set up camp and tend your garden.
I love it. I love it. Give me a backstory on that, on tending your garden and looking at things at a different perspective.
Yeah, it's really biblical on tending your garden. I when I was going through, I call it training. When I was in the training process of becoming the leader within the organization, the leaders at the time would meet with me in coffee shops, and they would always say, "Tend your garden, tend your garden." Like, what does that look like? It helped me with relationships. It helped me with football. It helped me with school. It helped me with family. Tending your garden. When we look at what went wrong inside the garden, is that Adam allowed something to slip into his garden, and that one thing that he allowed to slip in was a reason he failed, but also the reason he got put out. We got to also look at what went right within the garden, as far as him giving names to something, taking ownership of what God entrusted to him. And really, it's like, if he saw a problem, which in Eden, there really was not a problem, but you look at the problem and say, what are you going to do about it now?
Right.
Like, God gave instruction. He just didn't sit right there and say, like, dang, man, what am I going to do? He just went with his first instinct, and he knew that he was walking with God. So it's like, when you're walking with God, your first instinct is God. So it alleviates the second, guessing yourself. A lot of people second guess yourself in life. A lot of times it's because you really don't know which way the Holy Spirit is going to lead you. Right. So a lot of times now, I stopped sharing my heart with people because they're not going to do anything other than bring doubt towards it. Now, I'm all for, thinking intellectually and expanding your thoughts, innovative ideals and stuff like that. But I would bring opportunities and different things, ideas to people and say, well, did you pray about it first? I'm like, bro, this is my prayer. Like, God right here with me. He heard my thought. He came to me in a dream. He gave me action. And now I'm telling you action. I'm like, the praying phase is over now. Did you pray about it to basically be involved with this with this thing? But you saying that, it alleviates you from that. So now, when I look at tending your garden, I have to live my life as if something is always trying to creep in and cut in on me, because I know that right now I'm running a good race. Like right now, people are running a good race,
but they allow things to sneak in. And a lot of times it doesn't come directly to you because you're such a strong sprinter. I'm sorry, this is the coach in me, but
I
you're
know.
such a strong sprinter that somebody will bump the person next to you just to get close to you. Like Satan knows that, you know, he can't get directly to you because you're such a strong individual. But just because you have a big heart, he'll go to the people that's inside of your garden that he knows you have a strong rapport with.
Mm-hmm.
You know that you have a strong trustworthiness with. He'll try to cut in that way. So it's always trying to keep your grass cut low, tending it, picking up roots, picking up weeds that don't supposed to be there. You know, we have to always keep our eyes open and stay vigilant as it pertains to our goals and aspirations. So the background to that video, you know, I talked to you before I posted it. I'm like, man, I sat on that for about 2 months because it's certain things inside my life where, you know, I'm not going to speak on it until I really had a strong revelation about it. Because I'm like, you know, I learned this through trial and error. I'll try to give a message and it wouldn't hit that hard because I wasn't all the way convinced inside of it. So it's nothing I'm going to open up my mouth about that I'm not in trial and error expert on it. Like, I'm not going to have a degree in it. You know, like winning in life, there's no degree in that. But I know through the trial and error inside of my life, I know how to win.
Right.
I know exactly how to win. Even if the losses look like losses, I know how to turn it into a win because I look so closely within my life and saying, in order to win in life, you have to change your perspective. That's the number one thing. Change your perspective and change the people around you that will influence your perspective. That's what I live by.
I like that. Changing your perspective, because perspective can mean, and if you're looking at a game, whether if you're a home team advantage or not, because you can be the home team and not understand that you have the advantage, all based on perspective.
Right.
Especially if you're looking at a team that's supposed to be slated for championship.
Yep.
And so, you know, I've been with you all your life and I'm just 30. So, you know, you and I about a couple of years apart. I had you when I was young. But anywho, did you just say LOL?
I did. I'll let you have it.
Listen. There are a lot of people that don't realize the backstory to some things that really righteously should have stopped you in your tracks, should have shut your mouth from even speaking, and should have torn your resilience out of the frame, but it did not. From the car accident that you were in, from 2 injuries that you had in back to back in high school, from with you having 2 surgeries on your leg and being taken away from a sport that you love so dearly, and you were trying to figure out, you know, who were you apart from football? See, all of those things stops a lot of people at your age, but it did not stop you. Why?
So, and it's actually in my first chapter of the book, which is the little league phase, right? It's almost like a relationship. It's like a honeymoon phase. You know, when you're first introduced to something that intrigues you, it's like, you know, what's keeping me here? And a lot of times we get past that phase and then we go on to life and then something bad happens. I remember dad told me that the pads would protect me. That worked in the little league because I was scared to get hit.
Right.
Now I wasn't scared for anything. Like I'm hit anything that comes against me. But now that I tore my MCL my 10th grade year, it's like, dang, the pads didn't protect me. So now that worked when I was in little league. In high school, when I experienced my second injury, that where I had to miss games for the first time, it's like, okay, let's take a step back. Now I have to reevaluate where I am inside this level now. And I learned through that experience that I always had to reevaluate myself. When I was explaining inside of the first chapter in my book, I explained it like this. On any field or any court that you play on, basketball is 10 people playing at the same time, 5 on each team. In football, you have 11 on each team. That's 22 out there. You have a perspective on each player where they know deep down inside of them how much work they put in, how many injuries they've been out, whether they family inside of the stands or not. You really don't know. But the past experiences shape their perspective. So with me, I realized that if I'm on the field and I'm having a bad game, somebody on that field is having the time of their life. I'm like, why isn't it me?
Wow.
Like somebody in the stands is dealing with, relationship problems, but they come to the game with their spouse because their son playing. But they come together for that small little moment. So their perspective is different about how they're viewing the same thing. And I explained to some of my students the other day, if you see somebody swerving on and off of the road, it's like if you're in the car with somebody else and you saw somebody that you're close with get inside of a car wreck from texting and driving, your perspective is going to say they're texting and driving. But if the person with you has somebody that was drunk and driving at one point, their perspective is going to be like they're drunk and driving. How are you going to get to the truth? You have to be inside of the car that you're trying to analyze. So a lot of us look at problems from a perspective, but until we really dissect our problems and get down deep inside of the dirty, nasty parts of it, we're going to always have a certain perspective. And not saying that your perspective is always wrong or always right, but it's not always the truth. And I had to explain that to one of my students one time. The way you view life is not wrong, but just realize the way you view it is not always the truth. I had to insert myself inside the game to get down to the truth of it, which is how well did I prepare? How well am I executing right now? How well did I game plan? How well am I working with the team that I said that I would do sweat, blood, and tears with? Am I having them at the forefront of it? Am I playing selfishly? Like I have to look at all these different things to get down to the root of it. So I had to learn how to slow down life so that I can play at a high level. Meaning inside of life, rather than just football, I had to learn how to slow down life and not just move on to the next thing.
Right.
We see this inside the church all the time. People expect a new message from the pastor every single day. Every single Sunday, but they never let the previous message get down deep inside of them. They never let it resonate in them. Right. So it's like, like they will boo the pastor off stage for giving the same message every single time because they never let it resonate with them. But Jesus dying on the cross should be enough to last you the rest of your life. But because we didn't let it get down inside of us, our perspective never changed about him dying. Because him dying now should not be the same meaning that we had in Sunday school, or even last year. It should have a new meaning.
That's right. I love that. What I hear you saying, EJ, is, or Josiah, I didn't name that to you at birth, but I'll accept it. But what I hear you saying is intentional living. I hear you saying is that it's more than just getting up, putting your feet on the floor and going. It's intentional. You intentionally got up this morning. You intentionally set your day on what you have to do. You intentionally sought God's face this morning, thanking him for keeping you through the night. You're intentionally understanding what your purpose is and intentionally making sure that you are putting things in perspective to ensure that purpose is carried out by the end of this day. What I hear is consistency and intentionality, being intentional about what you do, purpose, living life. You are just 24 years old. How in the world did you grasp this concept at this age? Most 60-year-olds have not grasped this.
For one, I got tired of losing. I just got sick and tired of losing. Like it gets on my nerves. I got frustrated with life because I always surrounded myself with older people, and I would get frustrated with myself by not applying the things that they would pour into me. I'm like, bro, and I'm talking to myself. I'm like, bro, when are you really gonna get it? Like, are you gonna wait till you reach their age at a 30 or a 40 to apply what they said they wish they have gotten when they were my age? Like I always hear, I wish I had what you had when you're my age. I'm like, hold on. I'm not just gonna take that and then do that when I'm their age talking to the next generation. I'm like, bro, I need to get everything I need to now because I don't want to get that age and have the same regret they had and just telling a kind of like a fallacy to the next generation. It would do them a disservice. And now with being a teacher, it puts a whole nother fire inside of me. because it's almost like, you know, I would hear something my mentor would say, and then I would say, okay, bet. Like, let's see if this really does work. You know, can I live this out? It forces me to prepare the night before. I have this thing called Beat the Sun Up. Every single day, I post this thing called Beat the Sun Up. And I always write down my morning thoughts. It's like a diary on my Instagram. You guys see my Instagram right there. You can follow me at _Josiah_. But every single morning, I wake up with the mindset that I have to get everything I want to today. But Beat the Sun Up starts the night before. I have to prepare the night before. And it's not even if I go to sleep, you know, at 4 o'clock and wake up at 4:30. Like, that's 30 minutes of sleep. But I know I'm gonna wake up on time with a mindset that I gotta attack the day because of the way I prepared. So I analyze and slow down the day. Like today, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it was very tough, but it was not a bad day because I had my mind made up. It was tough because certain events happened. What am I gonna do about it? Like, I put aside the group chat with some of the teachers now, and this is just a vulnerable spot, you know, and it's fresh. But I'm telling you how I live my life so I can prepare the next day. I vented to my fiance, and I also vented to my team. And right after I sent that long message of my concerns, I came up with the answer to it. So it's almost like, you know, I didn't give my people close around me time to feel sorry for me. Because what is that going to do? Nothing.
That's right.
Like, it's not going to do anything. But I realized that, you know, through counseling different students and some of my peers and stuff like that, or even people older than me, the answer has to come from within them. So, me knowing that, I have to swallow my emotions, meaning that they're inside of me. I swallow those things and I say, okay, if this is a problem, let me see what X, Y, and Z would do. If that fails, let's do it again. If that fails, let's do it again. You know, but all in all, I have to win that rep. I got to win. I have to.
I love it. You know, it's so biblical with what you're saying, because if you go back to the redemptive work of Christ on the cross, the battle was won, which means he has already deemed us as being winners because of the redemptive work. So what you're telling me is that you're continuing to maintain a status that Christ created for us on the cross at the time of the crucifixion. And so when we lose sight of the fact that we feel like we've lost or that we're losing, that goes against the actual biblical principles of Christ, because he deemed us as being a winner all along. But there are things I hear you say is that we have to do to continue to keep that at the forefront of our minds, even when the challenges seem to be insurmountable.
Yeah. And that's really, that's another thing, man. I get so frustrated, especially with the community of the church and believers, is that we're always preaching this win. We're winners. We're more than a conqueror. But there's nothing inside of our life that proves that we win.
All right.
Like it's almost like we're begging God to provide a win that we didn't work for. Like we have to show physical evidence that we are winners in life. Because if they don't see we're winning, they're not going to come over here. They're going to go into the world and get immediate wins without working for it. And at the end of it, it's destruction. But they're enticed with it anyway because they're getting immediate wins. But if they can see something different about us, something that's enticing to them, that's exciting, not just giving hope in a way where it doesn't come true. It's giving hardcore evidence of saying, hey, this is how you win in life, and it's through the blood of Jesus Christ. Where we will win over more people than what we're winning right now.
That's right.
But for some reason, we lose it financially, we lose it emotionally, we lose it in every single aspect that the world is losing in too. But they're not gonna believe in something that we say we're believing in because they're getting the same result out there in the world. They have to see a separation of mediocrity. They have to see a separation.
I love it. When I hear you talking, and just talking about working towards something and doing something. See, people always associate work in a negative light, in a negative tone. They think about being tired. Oh, I got to go to work. Oh, I got to work this. But when you are working in Christ, or when you are in kingdom business, your work is not labor, or your work is not toil. The burden is light, because he said, take his yoke upon us. And so the burden is light. When we're working in Christ, we really don't have to do very much of anything physically. You see, we have to exert this. We have to change the perspective. We have to work our mouths. We have to work our faith, that type of work. And of course, there comes some physical things to it, but it's not to a point to where we are heavy laden and worn out and tired and exhausted. And so we don't have to work like the world works. We don't. And everything that we get, we don't do it in the same way that the world does it. So I like your perspective in that. I like the fact that you're saying that we have to do something and show people who are not in the kingdom what real, true kingdom living is all about. I like that. And you've always been one to work hard. Even as a child, you have never done anything half-stepping. You have always, everything you've done, you've gone full throttle. That's always been your thing. You know, before we end tonight, EJ or Josiah, I want to talk about this book. Now, you said something about the book briefly. And hey, cuz, how's it going, Vicky? You said something briefly about your book. So let's talk about the book, and when can we expect to get this book? Because I'm sure, based on what we're hearing tonight, and people are here to support you, I'm sure we'll get some pre-orders for this book you have coming out. So when is it coming out, and what is it about? What can we expect to get from this book?
Yeah, right now, you know, it's going to be released, I want to say mid-May, especially when students start getting out. Because I know for myself, if I have a textbook I need to be reading, I'm probably not gonna pick up another book. You know what I'm saying? So I want to hit it at the sweet spot on when kids get out of school, when college athletes get out of school. You know, and that's gonna be my main target audience. Is former athletes and also athletes that are going through the journey of becoming the best athlete they possibly can. It's all about winning the championship inside of your life. Like, can you win a championship inside of your life? Like the same work ethic, the same type of things that we learn inside of our day-to-day life, can we apply that? I mean, day-to-day football or basketball or soccer, can we apply those same things inside of our personal life? So, you know, at the beginning of the book, it's going to basically be a love letter. And I guarantee you, you know, it's going to tug at a lot of people. Like some people may cry. A lot of people that I sent it over to, they're like, dang, man, like that's like really dark. But really, until you step into the shoes of a former athlete, you really don't understand the type of pain and anguish that goes within that. Because you really have to look at how much work you put in and end up not seeing an end result in it. Even if you win the championship, it's like, what's next? Because you're enticed with working towards something. So when it's almost like a elder that doesn't want to stop working because they've been working all their life. So now you sit at home, you're like, dang, like, what is there else to do with me? I don't know who I am now. It's like that transition of husband and wife where they had those kids and then they graduate off to college and they look at each other and say, dang, I don't know who you are anymore. But
which by chance is getting ready to happen to us in a couple of months. Go ahead.
Yeah, it is. I'll be praying for you. But it's like that athlete goes through that. So I have a book that has the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and fourth quarter. Which the first quarter is Little League, second quarter is going to be middle school, third quarter is high school, fourth quarter is college, and then I have an overtime, which an athlete is always overtime mode. It's win to go home. It's first man get the touchdown wins. Yeah.
I think that is so clever. I like the way you formatted the book. I think anybody can read this book and be blessed. I'm really looking forward to these books landing into the hands of high school football players and college football players and even NFL players. You know, I'm looking to see this book land in the hands of some amazing people. Josiah, you're just a tremendous guy, not because you belong to me, but you are tremendous. And I want everyone to check out this next motivational clip that you have. This was a home run as well. I certainly enjoyed it. And I want them to check this out before we end tonight. Okay. All right.
So I want to help you all out. For the people that say that they get a hard time getting started in the morning, how do you prepare at night? Yeah. I know it sounds crazy, but how do you prepare to go to bed? Not your nightly routine from a physical standpoint, but do you meditate before you go to bed? Do you think about the things that you did right and the things that you did wrong in the day prior to the next day? A lot of people just drag themselves to bed. And what happens is there's nothing waiting for them in their life for the next day that will be able to drag them out of bed. I wanna say it again. There's some people that live their life saying that they are dragging themselves to bed, like the bed is calling their name when they get to their home. But when they wake up in the morning, that same thing that beat them up that day is waiting for them, and they feel like their bed still has a hold on them. I can't wake up in the morning and say my bed has a hold on me. I have to wake up every single doggone morning and say that I have to get everything that life has for me. And I got something for life too. There's some things that I've been through that has prepared me for a time such as this. There were things inside of your life that has prepared you for the next level, to equip you with the tools and to be able to guide you to the next level that you need to go. You're more than prepared right now. All you have to do is prepare yourself to implement the play to be able to win that championship. Some of you all are at the last seconds of your championship right now. Some of you all are at the beginning stages of your championship right now. How do you want to be remembered for this season inside of your life?
You know, EJ, I am so proud. I can't cry because I'm on air. You know, I got to keep the makeup together. So, are you? You're crazy, boy. But I am so proud of you. Thanks for wiping those tears. But I am. You have just been nothing short but just phenomenal. You're just phenomenal. You know, I love what God is doing in you, son, and I want you to continue on this path of where he has you. I believe you're an amazing motivational speaker. You motivate me, and I love to hear what you have to say, and I love even what you said today. I do believe I'm at that last on that last quarter, and I got to make sure that I finish this thing strong. And you spoke to my spirit in that, and I'm really excited. I'm excited to be your mom in your adulthood. It's definitely different because I can't tell you what to do. I can only suggest, but and I pick and choose then. But I'm proud of you. I'm very, very proud of you. Looking forward to the book. Guys, listen, you definitely need to share this live on your personal Facebook pages, on your feeds, in your stories, because people need to hear from Josiah. Josiah has a word in him, and I try not to call him a preacher, but he is a minister. I believe that in my spirit. But he has a word, guys, that is a right now word, and it's a word that's in season with right now, with the things that people are going through, the anxieties that people are dealing with every day. I'm talking to someone who's dealing with anxiety. And so the word that God has inside of him is literally eradicating anxiety, is getting rid of anxiety, and is implementing hope to a world that's hopeless. Josiah, I believe, is called to do that. I call him the master motivator because he's exactly that. Go ahead and share this, guys, with your Facebook friends, with your Facebook family. And if you have a church, if you have an organization or a program, you need to book Josiah. Go to www.ejosiah.com. Book him. Book him. He'll change your lives. He'll change the lives of your organizations that you have out there. He is up to be booked for any organization or program that you have coming up. an excellent special guest speaker, graduation speaker. He is your guy. ejosiah.com. That's ejosiah.com. Be sure to go out there and hit up his Instagram. That's _Josiah_. That's where you can get those. What did you call it again?
Beat the sun up.
Beat the sun up. I guess I'm not beating the sun up with Josiah because I'm just learning about beat the sun up. So I got to get out there on Instagram so I can be a part of that. Beat the sun up. You don't want to miss it. Go out there to his Instagram Reels, his Instagram TV. He's out there. _Josiah_ beat the sun up, guys. You need to get this. He says he's dropping it every single day, and that's a nugget for you to beat the sun up. Go out there to www.ejosiah.com. That's www.ejosiah.com. Ejosiah, I know you always have a word in season. I'm going to put you onto the main screen. What final words do you have of inspiration for us tonight?
Yeah, the main thing I have for everyone is that, just keep going, regardless of what it looks like. Always have faith that tomorrow, will be better. But also have the realization that tomorrow is not promised. So, you have to get everything that you can out of today. Like, squeeze out the last ounce of hope that you have for better days. Like, you have to give out your all. Because if you don't, you never push yourself to that moment of pure exhaustion of your faith. Like, sometimes our faith is going to have to be so strung out that, all we have to lean on is God. Like, that's all we really have to lean on. But until you really get to that point, you're relying on your own strength. So that's where the burnout comes from. Relying on your own strength to get the job done. That's what burnout is. If we really know where our strength comes from, we'll never get burnt out. But also the natural form of this is that we have to hold ourselves accountable to our natural needs, like taking care of our body, our mental, going to sleep, getting all eating well, all these different things, exercise. All these different things we have to play into a part. So the main thing I'm saying with this is that you have to find a balance within your life through faith, emotions, and also physically. You have to find that balance.
I love it, Josiah. Find the balance. Find the balance. Guys, listen, the 24-year-old master motivational speaker can say this is what he does. Certainly, we can also do the same thing. So super proud of you, Josiah. Thank you for hanging out with us inside the Ladiez Room Talk Show. We'll never be the same because you stepped inside tonight. I love you.
Love you too, Mom.
When are you coming home to see me? It's Mother's Day that's coming up here pretty soon.
We still on live?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to get the commitment on live so everyone can hear it.
No, I'm not making it for Mother's Day, but I will be home this week.
Okay, good. Yay! Look at Mark, he's laughing at us. Yeah, I tried to get him on live and catch him because I wanted everyone to hold him accountable. Yes. Jolanda says, yep, still live. Exactly. Jolanda, you know how it goes. We got to get it when we can. Mark says, get that in writing. Absolutely. Virtual manuscript. Exactly, Allison. You already know. Okay. Yes, just wanted to get in. All right, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us inside the Ladiez Room Talk Show. We love you so much. Stay safe. Be careful. And love life, guys. Love life and love yourself. God is good and he is worthy to be praised. See you next Monday. Love you. Good night.